I wanted to make a turn this off. I wanted to make a uh format, a tutorial for the narrative essay. And I just finished writing. I don't know why I never closed my door. Give me a moment to close my door. Let's pause. All right, close my door. So I'm going to make a quick, just kind of narrative tutorial. I created an example narrative essay and I created an example narrative essay, and I want to just again quickly go through it. So let's get started. Now, let me share. Let me pause this again. I'm going to open up our Bryce. All right, let me share. I am viewing as a student, so I just see what you see. So here is our, our class. We go to content, and we are in just weeks 2 and 3 is all that I have. Weeks 1, 2, and 3 are all that I have open. We're going to go to week 2. So we are in week 2. We've come down, we've done our assessments and all that. So we come down to week 2. We've done our gift of voice discussion, or are doing that this week in our first memoir. But we're gonna hop into the narrative essay. So of course, anytime you're like, man, there's a lot going on here, always just go down to submit. So have I done the part that says submit? So here's week 2 and submit. If we did our a memoir Monday, sometime this week, it's all right. If you didn't get it done by Monday the 25th, I'm really not that I'm not that much of a stickler whatsoever with our memoirs. So as long as you get those memoirs done that week, that's fine. But the gift of voice by tomorrow is really important. So let's check out that gift of voice discussion and what gifts we come up with. All right, so I just uploaded this example narrative essay, and if you want to watch these core memories from Inside Out, you can. But that's what I'm trying to grasp here. Is I'm trying to look at. I'm trying for us to jump into a specific core memory, right? And not. I really don't. What could kill this essay here is if you write about my entire senior year, which is way too broad, or if students talked about like I went to the beach this summer. I got a sunburn and I had a good time, right? Those types of really broad, really general ideas, they are not at all what we're looking for with our memoirs or with this narrative essay. So here's the example narrative essay. If you open this up, it goes into my specific, so writing a narrative essay. We want to begin with the hook if you can. I'm really not a stickler about the hook either, to tell you the truth. Give insight to the story in our introduction and have this thesis statement, either 3-point or holistic. It's kind of hard to get a 3-point thesis statement with a narrative essay, in my opinion. We're going to jump into that 3-point thesis statement with our next essay. Right. And so then we go into our body paragraphs, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, or just the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the ending of the story. That really is all that means. What happens first? What happens second? What happens third? Right. And the conclusion can look at things like what lesson did I learn? What are some of the key details? Do I have a call to action? Right. And make sure that we write maybe chronologically, that we provide relevant and vivid details, and write in first person only. We do not want any you, yourself. We don't want any third person, which is all, I mean, second person, which is all covered in that revision checklist. So make sure next week, before you turn in this essay, that you do the revision checklist. All right. So here's my example outline, and here's my example essay. So you're more than welcome to look at this. The main thing that I want you to notice is that this is all about eating snow ice cream at 2 in the morning when I was 5 years old. This is not like a week-long event. This is not even an all-day event, which is like if you narrow it down to a day, you're doing well. But this is just narrowed down to a few, 30 minutes one evening. And that's it. And that might be a little hard to write. And so, that's okay, but just try to narrow it down to one specific event, not a whole lot. Now, the introduction can give a little bit of back history if you need it to, but your body paragraphs need to detail one specific event. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about are word choice, right? So I put when I was 5 years old. So the number 5 is spelled out. We need to make sure that our numbers are spelled out. I talked about my father. I didn't say dad. I don't say papa. I don't say Mimi. I don't say Gigi. Like, we don't want any slang like that. We want to say grandmother, grandfather, father, mother. We want to have specific word choice because this is not creative writing. This is an essay. So this is what is called a narrative essay. So you're more than welcome to look at my example outline. You're more than welcome to send me any example outlines that you have. To upload your example outlines, just put them in activities, assignments, where it says essay one narrative. You can upload anything you want there. That is not hooked to the grade book. So if you have an outline, it's really important that you don't email it to me, that you go to activities and assignments and you upload that to these specific places where you're supposed to write your essays. So that way I can comment on it. It's easy for me to comment on it in Brightspace. I can't really comment on it in an email. I have to download it, type on it, and then re-upload. And I just can't do that. That's just a lot of work. Right. So you're more than welcome to, let's go back to content. You're more than welcome to email, send me any outlines. I don't have students do that because a lot of students will do handwritten outlines and then they have a hard time uploading it. They have a hard time, thinking they're not going to do well because they didn't get it to me and they're going to get a bad grade now. Um, whenever we get to your other two essays, you'll have a little kind of questionnaire afterwards to kind of reflect on you writing it. But you don't have that questionnaire with this one, mostly because we don't take at much time getting into it. All right. So week 3 next week is, of course, Labor Day at the beginning, but we are just the narrative essay due Monday, September 8th. That's all you have to submit next week. So next week, just write outline, write structure, write your own narrative essay. So spend the whole week writing your narrative essay and spend the whole week writing your narrative essay and let me know if you need some help with it. Send any kind of, upload any kind of drafts. I'll keep checking to see if we have drafts. And then here's the revision checklist for next week. I don't want to go into that in this video, but it does cover things that you should be able to cover on your own. All right. So again, it says outline, draft the narrative essay, do all this, and then submit. You only have to submit the essay itself. You don't have to submit an outline and all that. You only have to submit the essay by that following Monday. So all next week, all you have to do is write your essay. All right. If you want to look at the discussions for this week, we do have our gift of voice, which a lot of students have already done, which is fantastic. So that gift of voice, it just pretty much says that the facts don't matter. We don't have to call our brother or our sister or our best friend and ask them what happened. Because what happens is we're going to see our stories from their point of view and not our point of view, right? So this is due Monday, August 25th. I'm sorry about that. It is not due. It was due Monday, August 25th it's not due until Wednesday. I apologize for that. And that's probably why a bunch of students jumped on there. But, it was just a quick gift of voice explanation. And so I can't wait to read those. But if you have any questions, let me know. But uh, a narrative essay, again, is just our story, but an essay format. And what I want to learn from that story are just things like how to outline an essay, how to use specific examples, and how to use proper word choice. That's really all that I want us to tackle with this. Are those 3 things of just using a specific example, showing growth is something else. But anyway, using that specific example, having proper word choice, and having that 5-paragraph thesis-driven essay is what we're practicing. All right, so let me know if you need some help with that, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.